All right, let's look at the latest numbers in the primary for president in this state. Joe Biden winning, and it's not close, 90% over Marianne Williamson, the Democratic challenger, at 3%. Donald Trump winning big as well in California. Remember, if he gets over 50%, he gets to take all of the delegates. There are more delegates in California than any other state. Donald Trump looking like he will easily get over 50% now at 76% of the vote. Donald Trump speaking at Mar-a-Lago earlier tonight.
They call it Super Tuesday for a reason. This is a big one. Our poll numbers are so much higher than Joe Biden's. He's the worst president in the history of our country. There's never been anything like what's happening to our country. All of the problems that you have today, I don't think you would have had any of them. You'd only have success, and that's what's ultimately going to unify this country and unify this party. We have a great Republican Party with tremendous talent. We had the best economy our country's ever had, and people were calling me that I would have said will never happen. It'll never happen. They wanted to get together African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, women, men, people with diplomas from the best schools in the world, and people that didn't graduate from high school. Every single group was doing better than ever before, and it was a beautiful thing. Our country was coming together.
So, Nikki Haley was supposed to have an event tonight in South Carolina. That was canceled at the last minute. She has no events scheduled for tomorrow in terms of campaign events. She put out a statement tonight which did not say that her campaign goes on. So it would not be surprising if tomorrow or the day after, Nikki Haley officially dropped out of the race and Donald Trump officially became the de facto Republican nominee.
Makes a lot of sense, but did she think she was going to do that much better tonight?
Well, she did win in Vermont, which a lot of people didn't expect.
It's one.
That was one state, and not exactly known, Marla, as the Republican stronghold.
No, not at all. And of course, as we recall, she did not even win her home state. But her statement, though, tonight didn't say that she was going to drop out either.
Right.
And that's telling. But then again, it's probably just buying some time to see.
And to think it over. I mean, it's a tough decision, and try to figure out in terms of the money and all the rest of it. But over the weekend, she said, we want to see what the voters tell us. And the voters in almost every state pretty resoundingly said, in terms of Republicans, we want Trump.
So we know this is Super Tuesday, but still, there are still more delegates to be had to secure that nomination.
Donald Trump over halfway there now. But yeah, there still is more time to go before that convention this summer.
I do want to remark, though, quickly, the fact, what you pointed out, that so much dissatisfaction, right, among voters, whether it's for Trump or for Biden, yet you still pick Biden and you still pick Trump.
70% of the country does not want there to be a Biden-Trump rematch, and yet people are voting for Joe Biden with 90% of the vote, 76% of the vote for Trump. People say we want somebody else, but then they never vote for anybody else.
But some would say, what other choices do we have that are really viable for a win here? So if Nikki Haley does get out of the race, where do her votes go? Do those people say, okay, I stick with the Republicans and I'm going to suck it up and vote Trump even though I don't want
And
Trump,
then the other question is, do some of them maybe go to a third party? Remember, Robert F. Kennedy is running, other folks. That's another potential variable in this that we don't quite know what that'll mean in terms of November. All right, we are going to move on now and talk more about some of the local races happening here.
We have a live, we have a look right here at the numbers for the United States Senate race. We now know that Adam Schiff will face off with Republican Steve Garvey. Both have given their speeches for the evening tonight. This is looking how it was going to shape up anyway throughout the week. And now we know that there's the short term and the full term. And you see the numbers right there. It's going to be a battle between a Democrat and a Republican as we head into November for this race for United States Senate.
Laura Diaz is at Steve Garvey headquarters in Palm Desert. Matthew Seedorf is with disappointed Katie Porter fans in Long Beach. But let's start things off with Phil Schuman, who is in Hollywood with Adam Schiff. And Phil, this is the biggest night of Adam Schiff's political career, the most triumphant moment he's ever had, and yet he basically didn't get to give his speech tonight.
It was a remarkable few minutes here at the historic Avalon Theater in Hollywood. As you mentioned, Alex, so correctly, what should have been perhaps the most triumphant night of Schiff's political career, a major step towards becoming the next senator from California, disrupted when all of a sudden protesters in the crowd started criticizing him for his support of Israel. Clearly flustered, Adam Schiff, his wife and his daughter on stage with him, said it's wonderful that we live in democracy where people are allowed to protest. But he was repeatedly distracted and seemed to cut his thank you speech short as protesters chanted, "Let Gaza live, let Gaza live," drowning him out as security moved them out. This is some of what Schiff was able to say.
We are so lucky to live in a democracy where we all have the right to protest. We are so lucky to live in that kind of democracy, and we want to make sure that we keep this kind of democracy.
Nothing about himself, nothing about the future plans, nothing about Steve Garvey. This was a Schiff watch party, of course, but people were able to sign up on a campaign website. This was not invitation only, and that's how this group of anti-Schiff protesters was able to get into the Avalon. There was a small group out of hundreds, and this morning, coincidentally, which they probably did not realize, Schiff did call for a pause in the fighting, but made it conditional on Hamas releasing all the remaining hostages. So this, of course, is going to be an issue going forward. Alex, Christine, Marla?
Phil, you've been such a longtime follower of this stuff. What do you make of Adam Schiff, the strategy, and his sort of focus on this seat really for almost 15 years? I've been talking to him about this seat.
Well, I think that this is part of his career path. I mean, he came out of Harvard Law School. He went to work as a prosecutor. He was an elected official in the state. Then he went to the House for, I believe, 12 terms. And this is the next logical step in his career. And Steve Garvey was the best present he ever got because he was able to capitalize on his strategy of promoting Garvey at the expense of his fellow Democratic rivals, Porter and Lee, and essentially guaranteeing himself a seat in the Senate because Democrats outnumber Republicans 2-1 in the state. So aside from the protesters tonight, which is going to be something he's going to have to deal with and did not deal with it well, Adam Schiff has to be feeling pretty good about his future.
Yeah, a reminder of the issues he would deal with as well in the Senate. He's going to have to deal with in the House as he heads back to Washington for the State of the Union in just a few days. Phil Schuman, thank you for your reporting tonight.
Yeah, that State of the Union coming up on Thursday. We take you back here with a live look back at home. This is a picture from the City of Industry. This is the facility where the registrar is counting votes. 1, 2, 3, we're counting the people inside, and maybe about 15 people we can count there, and you can see people moving through, and there's a lot of work still that needs to be done, and as many of those people dropped off their ballots today, those votes will be coming in for several days to come.
In the fall, control of the U.S. House could come down to a few California districts, and we are getting a better look tonight at who will be running in those districts. In the 40th district, Republican Young Kim is the incumbent, and it looks like she's going to be running against Joe Kerr, who's a Democrat and a former firefighter. Let's go to the 41st district. You are going to be hearing a lot about that one coming up in the fall. This is a race where Ken Calvert is the Republican incumbent, has been in that seat for a long time. Will Rollins, the Democrat, ran against him last time, almost beat him last time. You see how close this race is. It'll be Calvert versus Rollins in the fall. We take you now to the 45th Congressional District. Michelle Steele is the incumbent in that race, and there is a close race between two Democrats here to try to run against Michelle Steele. That race still too close to call. The 27th district is where Mike Garcia is the the incumbent. He has survived very close races in the past against Christy Smith, beat her 3 times, a Democrat. Democrats have a new Democrat that they're excited about. His name is George Whitesides. He's a former executive in the aerospace industry. He will be facing off against Mike Garcia in the fall. Expect a whole lot of money to be pumped into that race for both Garcia and Whitesides. That's one of those seats that could determine control of the U.S. House.